What's up, everyone? This is Corey from the OverLook, and we go over the books you may have overlooked. This is the penultimate issue in this first story arc, Brick by Brick. How are you guys liking it so far? I was a little hesitant at the beginning of the story, but it didn't take long for it to ramp up. Hopefully, you stick around to the end of this issue, because this is where things get really crazy. Casey Brinke flies Danny the ambulance back to Earth and drives him back to her partner's Sam's house. Sam, who is still on unpaid leave, didn't expect Casey to show up, especially with the ambulance in such a bad condition. But if people are injured and need help, he isn't going to turn his back on them. Sam also didn't expect to see Casey sitting behind the wheel of the vehicle in a blue jumpsuit, or to be rushed by a homeless man named Ricardo, or seeing a strange pink alien eating potato chips in the passenger seat, or the ambulance itself talking to him. Honestly, it's a lot to take in. Elsewhere, in the negative space, within the negative entity, Nahal, Larry Traynor and the negative spirit are being rejoined. Blinding flashes of cosmic radiation emanate outward as Larry is lifted into the air. Robotman calls out for his friend, but the negative entity stops him. Do not be alarmed, part human thing. Captain Traynor and the negative spirit, known as Keeg, are merged. Rejoice. The sacrifice has been made. The pact was renewed. This shell and shadow presented before all who witness. What do you say? Throughout the chamber, the negative spirits hiss. 2 is 1. This mortal's body is chaos. We accept. Bandages are produced and begin to wrap themselves around Larry's body. The negative entity bellows. The dressing of the sacred bandages, once wrought by man, now holy and shaped by the negative artificers, encase. Do bind this merger in servitude eternal, and protect all beings from their poisonous light. Stand and be clothed in the vestments of the hero, to inspire the beings of earth who cannot comprehend your unrestrained condition. They have long since dispersed into the universe, constructed anew, though you will always hold a fragment or two. Rise up, black flame, you ebon sun. Your shadows swarm upon this form, host and spirit. Pay tribute to the sacrifice made. This night, this light, we are the negative space, averse to the positive place. All hail the negative ace, Captain Traynor. Now, go forth and fight. At that moment, Casey, Danny, and the others burst through the portal into the chamber and screech to a halt. Casey then hops out the driver's seat and tells the two, "Get in." Danny also greets the two by saying, "Cliff and Captain Trainer, I believe. It's been ages, loves. You're both looking well." "Danny?" Robotman gasps. Larry slightly tilts his head in confusion. "I'm a bit of a mess at the moment, but yes, it's Danny, formerly the street, the world, the brick, and the cabana. Now a freewheeling ambulance." Both Robotman and Larry shrug their shoulders and enter the vehicle, figuring they have nothing to lose. Before they leave, Larry thanks the negative entity, Nahal, for everything he has done. It too thanks Larry for everything he has done in turn. Larry has their gratitude. Then, another unexpected turn occurs. The radio hisses for a moment before Ricardo yells out for help. "Casey, are you there? Flex Mentallo is dead, paralyzed to oblivion. Dannyland is in ruins. We are administering first aid, but there are not many survivors and no sign of the Vectra." Robotman shuffles up to the front of the ambulance. "Flex Mentallo is dead? What the hell is going on?" "There are these bad dudes called the Vectra," Casey answers. "They captured Danny and tortured him into producing more so they could grind them into fast food. Danny can do that kind of thing now because some serious shit went down and he's kind of a god, but not the omnipotent kind that can reverse time and make it so it never happened. That's where I come in." "And who are you?" "My name is Casey Brinke, and I drive the motherfucking ambulance. Buckle up for safety." "Where are we going?" Casey snaps her collar and puts her mask back on. "Mobile Slaughter Unit X-19, as far back in time as we can." "Okay then," Robotman responds. "And how are you holding up?" "Well, Cliff, I miss my cat." Elsewhere, outside a hole in the wall called the Rash, something strange is happening. A person, or rather, an astronaut, walks down the dimly lit sidewalk. It carries a small red box in hand. Then, the astronaut turns a corner and enters an alleyway. It is there they find Casey's cat. "There you are, Lotion," they say, kneeling down. "I've got something for you." The astronaut tips the box over and pours out the contents. Lotion hesitantly tiptoes over to the stranger before biting down on the bits before him. And then, Lotion begins to grow and change. The Doom Patrol arrive back in time and crash into the Mobile Slaughter Unit X-19. They break through the side of the space station, and Casey runs over a number of Vectra before screeching to a halt and parking right next to the past version of Danny. "Shit," she sighs out as she looks around her. They knew there were going to be guards on duty, but not this many. "How did they know we were coming?" she asks. "Because of me," answers an all too familiar voice. "Torminox," Casey gasps. "Yes, your dear old dad," from the pages of Danny Comics. Before you rescued him, the Vectra tortured so much meat out of Danny, they broke him. And that's when he produced me. I don't even think he knew what was happening. He was in so much pain. Once, I was loosed upon the universe. There was no stopping what I could create. Like this synthetic version of Danny the ambulance, using Vectra's meatless multiplier and some of Danny's DNA. It can't produce anything worth a damn, but it gets me where I need to go, and when I need to get there. But how did you meet us here in the past? Casey asks. Danny needs me to do that. At that moment, the duplicate Danny's front door slams shut. That's right, says a woman who looks and sounds just like Casey as she steps forward. So, Dad used your Danny to make another Casey. A better one. I'm every bad feeling and every single fear Danny has about what you could become out in the real world. Unprotected. Uncontrolled. He's not my dad, Casey shoots back. He's just fiction. Danny made him up just like Danny made you. Like Danny made me. Torminox crosses his arms and huffs. Now, you say that, but I know you've got feelings. A defect, if you ask me. And deep down, you do care. You want to see your pops get better. Cured of the Torminox virus that made me what I am. As your mother failed to do. Robotman looks at Torminox, turns to Casey, and turns back to Torminox, before marching forward and hitting the purple bastard with a sneak uppercut. Screw this! He shouts. In reaction, Larry releases the negative spirit, and the jet black entity begins circling around the room. Chaos ensues, and Danny uses this opportunity to speak to Casey. He tells her, things have gotten a lot worse than I imagined, and we've got to put a stop to it. I need you to go into the past version of me and head into the comic shop inside of Dannyland. Grab my gas canister and burn it down. It will initiate a self-destruct sequence that will put an end to this. But if we do that, you'll cease to exist. That's right, along with Torminox and that dodgy Casey over there, destroying this whole Vectra Kazi in the process. But past me is sitting in a prison cell right now. If she dies, I'll cease to exist. And everyone in Dannyland we're here to rescue won't make it. Don't worry about that. Just head into past Danny with Ricardo and Sam. Have them gather everyone in Dannyland and run them into me. You trigger the self-destruct, and then get your Cory Bungus back in my driver's seat. Go, Casey! Robotman stomps towards Torminox. I don't know what you're planning, and I don't really care. I'm stopping this malarkey right now. Torminox presses down on a button on the back of his palm, and it flushes his bloodstream with a secret venom, giving him the strength to overcome Robotman. No plan, just evil, he shouts. the negative spirit battles it out with the Casey clone, and Casey, Ricardo, Sam, and Fug jump into Dannyland. All the while, Larry Trainor's body sits safely in between the two ambulances as he sleeps through the entire experience. Meanwhile, in Larry Trainor's innermost parallel lifetime, the former captain is on his deathbed, going down memory lane one last time with those who are closest to him. Like that time they went to Cape Cod and he forgot he couldn't swim. Small moments like this made everything worth it. All the years he's lived have been a gift, and he'll treasure that gift for as long as... Suddenly, the family is interrupted by a man in a wheelchair rolling into the room. His name is Niles Calder. And no, he and Larry have never met. But Niles would like to talk to him about something he calls the Doom Patrol. Back on the slaughter unit, Torminox slams Robotman onto the ground and begins to stomp on him, crushing the metal beneath his boot. You really are a riggedy bag of waste, Robotman. They had to say that our soul existed in the microtubules that live in our brain, but that's false. Once the brain leaves the body, it's gone. The brain needs to work in harmony with the cells for a soul, in a Western philosophical sense, to exist. Like a machine. There's no way to get that back once they dump your garbage into all that metal. It's lost. Like your spirit. You're empty. Torminox stomps down, again and again. Danny thinks to himself that he has to do something. Quick. The metal plating on Robotman's face continues to crack and dent under the villain's heel. But suddenly, just before the finishing blow, Robotman catches Torminox's foot in mid-air. I'd rather be empty than completely full of shit, he grunts as he throws Torminox upward. The negative spirit then swoops around and catches Torminox out of the air and tackles him through a nearby wall. Robotman struggles to stand to his feet, but just as he stands all the way up, he hears the sound of a gun being readied. Hey, Tin Man, I bet if I kill this guy, that electrical pain in the ass goes away, says Casey's counterpart, motioning towards the negative spirit. Soon after, Torminox returns with a number of Vectran guards behind him. Good job, Sunshine. I think it's time to. At that moment, Danny's back door swings open and none other than Casey's mother steps out of the vehicle. Within Dannyland, Sam is attempting to administer first aid to Flex Mentallo. Luckily, the hero is still alive. Traveling to the past has given them time to stop whatever the Vectra used to slowly kill him. Time travel is a wonderful thing, cheers Ricardo. You go and round everyone up while we wait for Casey. I'll take care of Flex here. He kneels down before Fug and presses on the alien's chest compartment. The compartment opens up and a purple goo spews out. Ricardo dips his hand in the goo and spreads it on Flex's chest. "What are you doing?" Sam asks. "On the island, I gave the best massages in all the land. Some say it was magic, and I believe they were right. Now, you big muscle man, let Ricardo work his hands." Inside Danny Comics, Casey splashes gasoline around the corners of the store. A few days ago, she was just a normal woman who drove an ambulance because she liked to help people. And now, she's being tasked to kill the very thing that created her. She doesn't realize it, but she's taking her time. "Casey," Danny tells her, "before we do this, I need you to know that I don't see you that way. Becoming her, poisoned by the world. I'm just afraid." "I know, Danny," Casey replies softly. "The world is hard and unforgiving. It can change you because we're made up of all the things that happen to us. The good things fill your heart, but the bad and what we choose to do with them really make us who we are. I'll keep choosing love. I'm so proud of you, Casey. I know. It's why I keep burning bright." Casey lights a match and throws it down on a case of comic books. Instantly, the books ignite in flames, and it doesn't take much longer for the fire to spread around the room. "Run, Casey," Danny tells her. "Gather all the people and get back to your Danny." Outside, on the mobile slaughter unit, Casey's mother tries to talk down Torminox. He tells her, "I know what you're trying to do, Gloria, and it's not." "It's okay, Richard. I'm here now. You can stop all this foolishness. I know you're stronger than the Torminox virus. We're stronger than it. And the antidote is such a simple thing." Casey's mother leans in close to kiss her former husband, but before she can, she is shot in the back by the counterfeit Casey. Before she can say anything, her gun shatters in her hand. Flex Mentallo appears, telling Casey's counterpart, "That wasn't very nice, miss." Meanwhile, dozens of civilians are flooding out of one Danny and storming into another. Sam and Ricardo do what they can to navigate everyone efficiently, but a number of veteran soldiers are closing in on the group. Flex uses his powers of muscle mystery and tells the Vectra to stand aside, throwing them all away and buying the group a couple more seconds. Amidst the chaos, Casey's mother calls out to her. "Casey, there you are, sweetie. Mom, look at you. You've grown up to be such an amazing individual. You don't need us anymore." Casey's father smiles and looks down at her mother. "But we'll be watching from a black hole, waiting for your light to reach us. not a star, but a sun. Casey's mother and father share a brief kiss before her mother begins to ignite. Just like before, she'll sacrifice herself to save her daughter, and she doesn't care who she has to take with her. Elsewhere, in New Mexico, a woman with curly hair holds her head down in shame. "Thank you for seeing me, multi-mother," she says softly. The multi-mother tells the woman, "Of course. What troubles you, my dear?" "Not troubled so much as, well, you told us, should we ever remember things?" The multi-mother cuts the woman short. "And what we remember fails us, and what fails us pulls us further from our true identity." The woman sinks her head once again. "Yes, well, I remember the man who I was married to, and the son we had together. He'd be about 15 now." "Yes," the multi-mother says flatly, neither confirming or denying the claim. "It's just that tomorrow is such a big day, and even though I'm about to become something bigger than them, it's just that tomorrow is such a big day, and even though I'm about to become something bigger than them." "Bigger than memory," states the multi-mother. "Bigger than bonds. One with the multiform." "Yes!" Tears fill the woman's eyes. "The dominant identity. The divine component. I wish they could see me become." "They will feel it," replies the mother. "What is your name at this moment?" "Valerie. Valerie Reynolds." "And what will your name be tomorrow?" "Jane. My name will be Jane." "That's right, dear," says the multi-mother. "Tomorrow, we will all be Jane."